it, you sucker!
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, all around badass with my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And as always, man, we inside the Hall of Fame, getting ready to do our thing, representing 975 ESPN all the time, as we do. You know what? I just want to say a big shout out to my boy Jerry Bo. I miss you, dog. You know, like I said back in the day, coming to get you, you know, something like that. I ain't gonna say it the other way. Hey man, how you feel, man? I gotta embrace it. How you feel, dog?
You know what? I'm good today. Now, yesterday was no bueno for me, Booker T.
Yeah.
Yesterday was terrible. Yesterday was the day after I got the booster shot.
Oh, you got the
Yeah.
booster, huh?
I got the booster.
I got to get my booster, man. I got to get it, man. I got to get it because things changing all over again. You know, and they say the best protection is what? The booster, man. So I actually just a shot. But you know, how did what did it do to you? Knock you down pretty bad?
Yeah, just yesterday I was pretty much out of it. You know, I didn't wake up till about, I don't know, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Sweats, chills, aches, the whole nine. But you know what? By about 7 o'clock, 7:30, I was good.
Ready to
you know
go
what I mean?
Ready to get on the plane.
I was ready.
You can go to New York City, man, because I'm telling you right now, you go to New York City, you better have a card.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You will starve to death in New York City if you ain't got that card, man. So
it was crazy. When I was in Brooklyn, everybody was asking, like, you have to show it before they even let you in the door to order. Like you can't do anything without that card out there in New York City. It's a little bit different from how we do things in the great state of Texas.
Hey man, you know what I mean? It's wide open. Here, man. But I'm happy. Everything's good. Coming off actually a really, really good weekend. You know how I love the art of pugilism, the game of boxing. You know what? Let me rephrase that. The art of boxing, because they say you don't play boxing. It ain't no game. It's real as it possibly could be. And I tell you, watching that boy Teofimo Lopez, who has been a star on the rise ever since he knocked off the lightweight king, Lomachenko, now in the fight of his life on this weekend, coming out on the losing end against Australian George Kambosos. What a fight, man. What a fight. And for me, just to sit and watch fights like that go back and forth remind me of, you know, the days of Hearns, Hagler, you know, Ali, Frazier, you know what I mean? It might not see a knockout, but you're going to see nothing but action personified. And in that fight, man, what a fight, as well as Showtime Boxing did the rendition of Friday Night Fights. Brandon Figueroa taking on that boy, Stephen Cool Boy Fulton. I like that nickname right there, Cool Boy. You got to be bad to the bone to have a nickname like Cool Boy and then come out and show up and show out. What a fight, Brandon Figueroa versus Fulton. 12-round decision in the way of Fulton. What a great fight. But also, man, reality of wrestling, guys. We got a whole lot going on. So I tell you, man, I don't even know where to start it this weekend, actually this week, but tonight, just to get everybody ready, get everybody primed. I will be featured tonight. That's why the beard is nice and curly and whatnot. I'm trying to get it ready. I will be featured tonight on Raw Talk, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, it will be nothing but hot takes, okay? I'm bringing nothing but the smoke. And if somebody don't like it, damn it, they can get out the kitchen, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot than it's ever been tonight on Raw Talk. So make sure, guys, you tune in, because I'm going to be talking about everybody.
Man, wait, this is news to me. So why is Booker T going on Raw Talk? What are we talking about?
Well, you know what? We need to stir things up, okay? We need to make people sometimes a little uncomfortable, And who better to call to get that done than Booker T? And the thing is, I have no allegiance to any of these young guys. I'm here for one reason only, and that's to get paid. But now, but to talk about these guys from a constructive perspective, who do I think the best is? There's no question of a doubt. There's only one. And if you want to find out who it is, you tune in to Raw Talk. And I'll tell you exactly who it is. And the person might be not working in WWE. How hard of a take is that for you?
Whoa. Hold on now. And Raw Talk, that goes down, I guess, like at 10 o'clock Central. Is that right?
10 o'clock.
10:05, something like that. I got to tune into Raw Talk.
I'd be on like 10:15 or something like that. So yeah, tune in. Because my thing is this, man. I'm you know, it's a song. It said, Emma Effa, I'm real. You feel me?
So I'm not familiar. Who is Emma Effa? Was she a popular singer? Now, why was he only talking to her?
I'm just saying. So tonight, guys, if you want it, you know what, man? I try not to step on anybody's toes or anything like that. But one thing, like Ernie Ladd said back in the day, he said, you know what? I'm big enough and bad enough to step on some toes and keep on walking, Jack.
That's right. Well, you got to be ready, Book. I mean, you have become not only the king of the ring, but the king of the hot take in pro wrestling circles as of late.
As well as the beard, man. The beard. Nobody talking about. I don't know if you guys noticed the beard, man. The length on the beard.
Yeah.
Man, the length on the beard is growing. That means everything is all good. Everything is good in the hood in the Huffman household.
You look like you got it kind of tailored a little bit here, a little fade action.
Yeah, I went over to the Houston Barber College, and they hooked me up. The young guys over there, they hooked me up. You got a lot of young guys over there that's aspiring to be some of the best designers as far as hair go in the world. And if you're looking for a hookup, a $5 cut, baby, $5 cut, go check them out, and they'll hook you up.
I didn't know for the longest time that, like if you go get your hair cut at like a Supercuts or something like that, right? Those people aren't barbers. Did you know this?
Really?
They're cosmetologists. And there's a difference between a cosmetologist and a barber. Do you know what it is?
They want more money.
A barber can give a straight razor shave. A cosmetologist cannot. That's the difference.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Because this time, I must have had a cosmetologist working on me this time. Actually, aspiring cosmetologist, because she didn't put the razor on me. And then the last time I went, the brother put the razor on me, and I'm gonna tell you, bro, he had me all looking good. So next time I go back, I'm gonna make sure I let him know I'm looking for a barber. All right, somebody put it on me and make me look, because I had to get home and actually do that part myself. But I'm pretty good with the razor itself too. So it wasn't no thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. It's the things, those like little things that you don't know, right? Like between the difference between a barber and a cosmetologist. But guess what? You learned today on the Hall of Fame. I guess that's what we're doing. We're educating the masses here, Booker T. We do have real quick a super chat that just came in.
Super chat
from Sean O'Hare, who says, "Hey, Book, did you ever do a show in Scotland?"
Man, I'm sure I did. A lot of times I must say, I'm sure I did. But one thing about shows, they just run all together. They all just seem like one big show. I never really focused on a lot of times what city I was in, what country I was in, or what state I was in, just because it was just too much to be thinking about when trying to think about one thing only, and that's going out and performing at the highest level. Of course, I had a lot of great times around the country, and a lot of places I remember so much more than others, I must say. But let me tell you this here. I ain't meeting no women in Scotland. You're in the Hall of Fame, guys. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Independent wrestling is full of charismatic persona, incredible athleticism,
Shooting star, press from pressure, covered.
and at times, complete chaos.
Got attention.
Don't do it, Will. Oh my gosh!
Senton bomb through the table.
This is where the young guys, the young girls come today to pay their dues, to learn the craft, to start the journey to become the next wrestling superstar. I'm WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, and these are the Indies. Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Yeah, man. Like I say, yeah, I'm gonna be on Raw Talk tonight. I'm gonna be making sure I looking good. I ain't gonna be looking like I'm looking right now. I'm gonna make sure I get myself all suited and booted. Make sure the hair's right. That's why my hair's all Malcolm X right now. You know, looking real militant. You know, because I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to lay it, to smack it down, like my comrade The Rock would put it. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about, you know, giving my take on everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything that's going on in our business and in our company today. So stay tuned tonight.
Well, I want to get your reaction. I want to get your hot take to something that's been in the wrestling media as of the last couple of days. But first, before we do that, we do have another
Super chat
from Cabo Stretch. I bet $5 if you do a step on toes. If you do step on toes, WWE Raw Talk will be cut from WWE YouTube uploading it. Ha 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 ha.
Nah, you know, that's the one thing. I step on toes every time I'm on the mic. Every time I'm talking, I'm stepping on somebody's toes, but it ain't, you know, out of disrespect or anything like that. It's just me telling it like it is. It's just as far as, just like, say, for instance, I made a comment and I ran into my man here just a couple of days ago at WrestleCade. Soon as I walked in the door, Jay Lethal. And he came up to me and he gave me a big hug, man. He said, man, you Godfather. He said, I just want to say thank you, man. I just want to thank you for believing in me, bro. And the thing is, I said, Jay Lethal, there's nobody better. Ain't nobody better than Jay Lethal. And a lot of people can take that and interpret it any way they want. But Jay Lethal know what I'm talking about. The world that perform and do this, they know what I'm talking about. Because all of those guys, every one of them know, if I get in a match with Jay Lethal, it's going to be a good match. It's the last thing I'm going to have to worry about, how that match is going to turn out. And that's the mark of a true great. And that's why he'll go down as literally one of the best that ever did it. So yeah, interpret it the way you will. But the way I speak it, you know, that's just to be, you know, take it however you want it. But we know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, well, we'll see what you say tonight. I'm curious. I feel like you have an idea of who you're going to go after tonight, but you're not revealing it right now.
You know what? I don't. You know what I mean? I got to see exactly what the layout is. And my thing is, I don't want any preparation or anything like that. Because my thing is this. If I don't know about you, and I ain't got a whole lot to say about you, that's it. That speaks for itself right there. Okay. All right. Right.
I hear you.
Right. Point.
Point.
So my thing is this: if you ain't making noise, and then we talk about you, and I say next subject, we move on.
Woo! That cuts deep right there, Booker.
How about
somebody's hopes and dreams, and you just don't even comment on them. You know what I mean?
That? I'm just saying.
I like it.
I'm just saying that's the way we roll. If I ain't got, my mama told me a long time ago, if you ain't got something good to say about somebody, don't say nothing at all, son, Junior. That's what she said to me. Junior, don't say nothing. You know, so I'm taking my mama's advice tonight on Raw Talk.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. Well, hey, speaking of Raw talk, I want to get your reaction to a former Raw superstar who was released just a couple of weeks ago. Talking about Nia Jax. Nia Jax put out a statement on Twitter because people were saying that she has a new ring name, Lena Feni, and she went out there and said, "Newsflash: Lena is my real name. It's not a ring name. It's just my name, the name given to me at birth. Calm the F down, trolls. In all fairness, opponent crippler, which is what some people call her online, would be a solid front runner if I ever decide to wrestle again, but it's highly unlikely I will." So it sounds like Nia Jax, the former Nia Jax, might never wrestle again. Do you think that she's given up because she's not with the WWE, or how do you feel about that news? Because Nia Jax was a fixture in the women's division for several years, had several WrestleManias. She won the women's title at WrestleMania. She was a tag team champion, defended earlier this year at WrestleMania. I mean, she was a mainstay. Do you think that she should give up on wrestling? It kind of seems what she's doing.
You know, I must say this: it's a whole lot different, I think, for women than it is for men. Just think about it for a second. What do you remember Nia Jax being, seeing Nia Jax ever before she was with WWE?
I don't think that she did anything before that.
Exactly my point. So for her to actually have to go out and, you know, do other shows other than, you know, WWE, something that perhaps came to her and, you know, was an offer that, you know, probably she couldn't pass up. Maybe something that she really didn't even want to do. Just think about that for a second. But sometimes when an opportunity comes, and then you see what kind of numbers are behind that opportunity, you say, okay, I'll try this. And it turns out to be a career for you for a period of time. But who's to say Nia Jax don't want to do something else, like, you know, have a family, have a regular life, be able to, you know, breathe for a moment. I'm going to tell you, man, being on the road, it's no party. Well, then again, let me rephrase that. It can be a party.
Right.
It can be a party all the time. But it's not easy at all. And if you're that type that want to, you know, do something else just for a moment, if you're doing this, you can't. If you're on the road, you can't. So I can totally understand 100% where she's coming from. If she didn't want to do this, you know, if she's not going to do it for WWE, she's probably like, man, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So I totally understand.
Do you think, though, that she would be an asset to a roster out there like an Impact or an AEW?
Big fish in a small pond, no pun intended, as far as a company like Impact. AEW, of course, she can go over there and do big things, do great things. But I just don't think, you know, me personally, I don't know if that's the end game for someone like her. Just because she say losing this job, the way she did so abruptly, she said she was crushed. She didn't see it coming. That right there may have a whole lot to as far as weighing in, as far as whether she want to do this or not. I don't know, man. Like I said, she would be great anywhere she goes. She really would. She's one of my favorite people that I would see when I would come to TV. I always thought very, very highly of her. But like I say, you know, some people, man, this business, it you know, it ain't the all in that be in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, again, she was kind of plucked from, I think she was a model or something, right? Wasn't she a plus size model or something like that prior to? Yeah, she was kind of plucked from being a model. She had the Samoan lineage connection to The Rock and the Usos and everybody. And it was like, well, hey, let's give her a shot. Let's give her a go. She had a hell of a run. She had a hell of a push, but perhaps it wasn't really, you know, in her bones, right? Like, it's not like what she wanted to do with her life. She just thought maybe this was an interesting opportunity. And I capitalized on the you know, opportunity I was given. And she did great. She did a great job with what she was given. People did online call her the opponent crippler, which I thought was a little bit of a low blow, because people tended to some people got injured in matches with her, but I don't know. I think that's a low shot. Remember, Seth Rollins had that reputation for a little while of hurting opponents. You know, kind of sucks that.
Look, bro, that's just social media, man.
Yeah.
That's the few people on social media that, going to label her as, someone who's going out and hurting people. And it picks up steam and, people run with it. But I don't know. I don't look at her that way. In this business, I always say it's not ballet. And if you're talking to someone who's thinking about someone going, look, some of the matches that we've seen some of the stuff that we've seen on television. I mean, Sammy Guevara literally hit Matt Hardy with a skateboard so damn hard, I felt it. Okay. But so guys, it's wrestling. It's stuff that happens. You know what I mean? So I'm like, when I hear stuff like that's the social media world totally amplifying things to a point that, we really don't need to be going, honestly.
And Nia, when she broke Becky's nose, remember they had the lead up to Survivor Series, boom, she breaks her nose. When she did that shot of Becky Lynch with the blood coming out of her nose and all that stuff, that was an iconic shot. Like, it helped get Becky even more over.
Hey.
Yeah, I know it was an accident, but hey, it worked.
Hey, man, sometimes accidents happen. I was in a match and referee Tim White was just a little bit too close, and I hit him so hard, and I looked around and his nose was pointing the other way. Blood was streaming out so hard. We had to get him out of the ring and everything. Tim White said, man, I saved him so much on his nostril, emergency bills, because I fixed his, his breathing.
Oh, his deviated septum?
Yeah, and he didn't even have to have surgery.
Best of a bad situation.
It's something we talk
You're
about.
You're also an ENT.
Every time I see him, man, he goes, man, my wife loves me, man, just because of you, bro. It was an accident, man. I mean, it was not something that happened, on a regular occasion or anything like that. But again, man, it's not ballet. This business is as tough as it could possibly be. And I know a lot of times people think that, man, they could get off their sofa and go and do a triple gainer, moonsault and land it perfectly, just like a ricochet in the middle of the. I know I could do that. You know what I mean? People actually think that. People think that it's easy to be on the road, 250 plus days out of the year. That's just 250 plus days wrestling. That's not counting the travel and all of that stuff too. So it's just like it's the hardest thing I ever did in my life, honestly. And I've done a lot of things physically hard in my life, but wrestling, this business, if you're not mentally strong, it could break you in a heartbeat, literally a blink of an eye. So you just got to literally be prepared. Preparation, only luck you're going to have. Guys, we got to take a quick break. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Booker T World Gym Arena in Texas City, the home to the Reality of Wrestling Training Center. It's a 20,000 square foot facility with more than 50 full-time students and wrestlers from around the world. Inside the World Gym Arena sits a 9,000 square foot venue set up for weekly shows.
From up top, 1-2 moonsault.
Where our students showcase their skills in front of a live audience.
What he's done here is awesome. He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
In the back, a full weight room.
6 up.
Complete with state-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers.
There you go. Two more.
A full staff and office personnel.
One more.
Running the day-to-day operation. We have interview sets for TV production, promo classes, quarterly combines. We evaluate progression and team building. Referees, commentators, ring announcers, and live television production. At the World Gym Arena, we don't just teach you how to become a professional wrestler, but an elite sports entertainer. This is Reality of Wrestling.
sucker!
Shup. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. What you got on your mind, man?
Well, we got a couple.
Super chat. All right. What we got?
Y'all are with us today. We appreciate y'all. Roland Curtis have any other women besides Nia Jax and Chyna ever competed in the male Royal Rumble? Perhaps Beth Phoenix, but I can only think of these three women. Well, of course, Karma, right?
Yeah.
The awesome Kong.
Definitely, the Karma got a chance. I think she was the last one to actually participate as a female in the Rumble, if I'm not
mistaken. Nia Jax was too. Nia Jax did it after her. Because remember, Randy hit her with the RKO. Yeah. I always thought that was cool.
I always thought certain women could actually pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
And Nia Jax definitely was one. Chyna was definitely broke the mold as far as being able. I mean, she was just so believable, as well as Awesome Kong, man. Like I say, hello to give me a body slam one night, and I swear she gave me a body slam so freaking hard. I was like, what the heck? I thought I was in there with the one-man gang or something like that. But no, it's only certain women that's been able to actually pull that off, and she definitely was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of Chyna. When I look back at it now, because when I started watching wrestling, Chyna was on TV, so I didn't think anything really about it. I was like, oh, that's Chyna, right? But when I look back at it now, what a revolutionary figure for women, right? And when we look back at that era, a lot of times and rightfully so, you talk about Trish and Lita, but I don't think that we would have gotten Trish and Lita if there wasn't a Chyna who really trailblazed. Chyna was an intercontinental champion. She was wrestling for the world title at times. And there was not one, unlike some of the independent wrestling, and I'm not trying to crap on it, but sometimes you see an independent wrestling show where some girl who's 5 foot tall is wrestling a 6'5", 270-pound guy, and you're like, look, this wouldn't work out. Okay. Yeah. I don't care how strong she is. It's just physics. It's biology. It's whatever.
Impact.
Yeah. but when Chyna was wrestling, I never once thought, oh, she can't handle The Rock. She can't handle Triple H. She can't beat Chris Jericho, Hardcore Holly, or Jeff Jarrett's ass. I always 100% believed it. She was a revolutionary figure.
She was different. She definitely was different than anybody that ever came along in this business as far as believable. Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know if you saw the Chyna episode. It showed me that I thought Chyna was somebody that just came into WWE, and she was somebody that was just jacked up, and they was like, let's make her a wrestler. And then I watched her on the Dark Side of the Ring episode, and she was on the Indies.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually a worker before she ever got to WWE.
Crazy.
I never knew that. And then when I watched her on there, I go, damn it, she's pretty good. I said that watching her on that raw footage, tape. And me personally, when I see somebody, I'm always looking at them from, they were, if they had, any skill or not, or if they were just winging it or not. And I could actually see that Chyna had put in the work before she got to WWE. I was really impressed with that. Really was.
Yeah, I mean, she was just somebody, again, she was different. She loved the business and she understood it. And you know what? She was really great. Triple H, what a fantastic idea, right? What better way to get heel heat than your heater being a woman?
Yeah.
It was genius. He was this pretty boy, Connecticut blue blood, and he hires a woman to be his bodyguard. That was a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
It really was. So rest in peace, Chyna, Hall of Famer. Great one right there. We have another
super chat.
Callie Toenail. What's up, Callie, man? Always supporting the show. You know what? Real quick, shout out to Callie. In his bio on Twitter, he put Hall of Fame super chatter is in his bio. So shout out to Callie Toenail. One of the real ones out there.
Oh, yeah.
One of the realest ones ever. What are your thoughts on Ric Flair saying WWE is trying to erase him? And if he died, he wants Tony Khan to do his package and put Ric Flair or should Ric Flair still be in the intro? I think he's meaning the then, now, and forever WWE intro. So take all that as you may.
Well,
I haven't heard him talk about this, by the way.
You know, I haven't. I've heard some of the stuff as far as WWE is trying to erase his legacy. I was reading that a couple of titles that he want back from WWE. I'm not sure what titles they are or anything like that, or what's the how WWE. I don't know anything about that. Ric Flair and I we're friends. I've always been one that got along very, very good with Ric Flair. And as far as just I don't know. Look at it from this perspective. This is the only way I can look at it, and I'm not looking at this from a friendship perspective. I'm only looking at it from a business perspective. Just say, for instance, Brad was in the reel of Reality of Wrestling as a commentator on the show, and whatnot. And then Brad, ended up getting fired or coming to me and saying he wanted his release. He went out, you know what I mean? And then he go out and he started talking and saying certain things. You think Brad is going to still be on the reel of the show?
No, I don't think I would be.
Pull his ass and tell him, we don't need you. If Brad come back and work later on, we might put him back on one. But as of right now, just think about it. A lot of people that's on the reel, they either current or dead.
Yeah.
They either work for WWE or they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I right or wrong?
I believe you're correct.
So, I mean, you can only look at stuff like that I can only look at stuff like that from a business perspective.
Yeah, I mean, look, first off, I didn't hear Ric Flair say this, but I haven't seen any noticeable attempts from WWE to erase his legacy or anything like that. And I think the Nature Boy Ric Flair is one of the few legacies that is you can't erase. There's no way. There's probably nobody in the history of the business who has had a greater impact on multiple generations than the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And he should always be recognized and always will be recognized. I think that his daughter's still there and she's carrying the Flair name and she's a champion. You know what I mean? I think that only helps his legacy. But as far as what you're saying with being in the intro video, I get what you're saying. I do. But there's some names, again, you just can't ignore. As much as Bruno Sammartino would talk mess about WWE when he was still alive before they patched up their relationship, you still got to acknowledge Bruno Sammartino, whether he's on your side or not. You have to acknowledge him. You had to acknowledge Hulk Hogan when he was going through his issues a couple of years ago. You just have to. It's unavoidable. Well, you know what I mean?
But Hogan went through his issues. They pretty much did the same thing with him. Hogan came back and worked.
They took him out of the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Well, and then he came back. They put him right back in, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They put him in again. Now he's a two-time Hall of Fame.
Exactly. So my thing is, with something like that, Ric Flair, he's definitely truly the greatest that ever did this. Ric Flair's name is definitely going to rise, above all of ours throughout the history and annals of the time. And as long as this business is around, people are going to know Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino. Those are the first three names I think, going to pop into most people's minds. You know what I mean? So I don't think you can erase Ric Flair because Ric Flair is Ric Flair. He's still out there. He's still doing what he does. But I'm just saying, as far as the intro package, if I don't know how you are as a businessman and how you would be running your company if something like that was to happen. But I do know. Just say, for instance, if Ric Flair worked for me, and that's never going to happen in a million years. Just say, for instance, Wheel All Day, my top star right now. He's on everything. But I do know immediately if he wasn't a part of our crew, he won't be on anything. As far as I'm concerned, he'll be in the archives when I sell the footage. And he'll be a big reason I get a good price for it. But as far as me pumping him up, that's not my job to do anymore. And I just think that's just business more than anything. I don't think it's personal. I really don't. And if you listen to Ric Flair talk, I don't think Ric Flair blames, Vince McMahon for anything. He has a beef with Nick Khan, but he doesn't have a beef with Vince McMahon. So I think that's just business. And I think people sometimes, need to take a step back for a minute when that kind of stuff happens. Think about it in one text as far as what would you do if it was yours?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have an issue with them taking him out.
What would you do?
No, I don't have an issue with him.
No, I'm asking you. What would you do?
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, if I was in the shoes of WWE and Ric Flair was doing what he was doing, yeah, I'd probably have him taken out of the intro. I'd take him out of the intro. I'd say, get his old wooing ass off my television screen. That's what I would say. Is that what you want me to say, bro?
Yeah, that's what I want you to say because it looked like you.
No. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was just saying.
You had to dig deep to say that.
No. I was just saying you can't. I was responding more sort of the first part of like you can't ignore Ric Flair's legacy.
No.
You can't say it's unerasable. You just can't do it. But you can take him out of the intro.
No, but and the thing is, he definitely has the right to feel that way.
He can feel however he wants to feel.
Exactly. So
whether it's based in reality or not.
Exactly my point.
He can feel however he wants to feel.
You gotta take a break, man. Relax.
Cool. Don't get hot about it, book.
Get all red and stuff, man. Stick around, guys. We're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Oh, man. I'm out of breath.
Why are you out of breath?
Andrew, this new studio, man, I got the ability to still be able to cook dinner.
It's nice.
So I had to make sure the chicken wasn't burning, man. But now, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Representing 97.5 ESPN. And just chopping it up, man. Just chopping it. We got any more super chats, man?
We do have more super chats to get to.
What we got? Let's get to
it. Let me get to it right now.
Super chat.
Well, first off, was the chicken burning or was it okay?
No, it was perfect. Perfect. I just got to put a little gravy on it. And it'd be good to go.
It'd be good to go. For this from the real Giannis, who says, why do you think there has been such a resurgence of top quality wrestling? I stopped watching years ago, but I've fallen in love with it all over again. Makes me feel like a kid again.
You know what, man? I'm going to tell you, I really believe this, and I really do. I mean, when wrestling back in the day, when I watched it because of, the entertainment those guys brought in the ring, the performance that those guys want, as well as, man, they tried to make it as real as they possibly can. And now I think wrestling has really turned back a little bit as far as turning the page back just a little bit. And guys are now going out there and they want to compete. They want to compete to be the best in the world. And the guys like, the Roman Reigns of the world, they take it to another level. The guys like, Brian Danielson, take it to another level. The Kenny Omegas, those guys, they really think about how to, what I always said, making the fans feel a certain way, even to the point to where the artistry of it now, the line that these guys are walking as far as, having MMA to compete with. We didn't have MMA to compete with back in the day. And now I watch these guys go out and they really try to make that part of their wrestling feel a certain way when they're doing it. And the guys that do that really, really good, I can watch that match and get into it. And I'm going to feel a certain way when I watch it because I know what it is. I've always known what wrestling is and what wrestling was. But when I watch guys go out and do it from that perspective, just for instance, for me, Steamboat Savage, man, I would buy a ticket to go see that every damn time they came to town because I knew they was going to go out and give me something Shakespearean, something Phantom of the Opera. They was going to, make me want to freaking encore. Bravo. God, that was good. And they're going to make me feel a certain way. So, yeah, I like the style of wrestling now. Like I say, turning the page back a little bit and guys going out there trying to make the fans, just say, for instance, make a real tear come out somebody's eye because, damn it, that was so good. You know what I mean? Something like that. So, yeah, I love it.
I think that it's also, you can attribute it to competition, right? Big E actually had a quote out that came out today in an interview. This is what he actually said, and I think this is in relation to what you were just talking about. He said, he was talking about AEW, and this is what he said. He said, I know from a fan perspective, a lot of people would prefer it if I come in here and trash talk everyone in AEW and stir the pot, but that's not my style. I think it forces us to raise our game. If you watch their shows and you see their rabid fan base / people losing their minds and people loving those shows, it should make us want to say, yo, we want to be dominating them. We want to step up our game. We want to put on the better show. So that's what Big E was saying. Do you think that AEW and WWE, do you think that helps make these compelling matches? The competition?
I mean, it's gonna make everybody step their game up. Even just say, for instance, I always talk about the character outside of the ring and then the character inside of the ring, as far as, you could be whatever you want to be outside of the ring. And I'm going to use a controversial name that I've used in past. Take someone like a Riddle, the broski, whatnot. All of that is, he could do all of that stuff outside of the ring. And then when he go inside of the ring, I need you to freaking, bring the noise. And one thing I must say with Riddle, he's been changing that a whole lot lately. When he get in the ring now, he goes in the ring and he performs. It's no crazy, stupid stuff going on in the ring. I can buy that all day long because, I always said it, I can make you laugh. Me and Goldust. I mean, we were some of the stupidest characters you could ever find on the show. But when we went in the ring and performed, we always, left that behind. I use another character, Adrian Street. He was one way outside of the ring. You thought he was soft. You thought he was a flower. And then when you get in the ring, the bell ring, he started whooping your behind. And what the heck's going on? So I like that because you're not just going to be able to go out and go in the ring and get by with that. You know what I mean? Just like, say, for instance, a Riddle. You can't go in the ring and have the same character when you working against, one of these top name guys. Now, all of that has to go out the window. After the 1, 2, 3, if you get your hand raised, you can go back to doing whatever your dance or whatever. But when the bell rings, all of that stuff is. But people say, well, you did the spinneroonie. Yeah, that was a part of the match, that had nothing to do with wrestling. That was the entertainment part of it. But even in serious matches, the only time I did that was when we were going home, when it was time for me to get the people up to the ultimate place that I needed them to be. And then as a heel, I never would do it. So it's just, guys are going out there and really trying to play their in-ring the way it really needs to be played out. And I think that's what AEW forces WWE to do.
You run faster when someone's chasing you. I mean, it's the oldest cliche that I know, but it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. You look at just responses. If AEW puts on a really good show on Wednesday, you come in Friday for SmackDown, you're going to notice those guys have a little bit more oomph behind them. Those matches look a little bit more snug. They're going a little bit extra. They're not just going through the motions. And I think that it's probably easy to go through the motions, right? When you don't really have anybody behind you.
Heck yeah.
I think that probably, did you experience any of that? Like when you went to WWE and after things kind of leveled out, there was no WCW. Did you kind of feel like, okay, hey, we're just going to come out and do the show, or were you always full gear?
No. I can tell you this: after there was no competition, I never really thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought about if I needed to go out and work hard that night or not. I just knew I went out and worked. I knew I didn't have to go out there and think about doing anything extra. I do know that, and I probably did put the brakes on a little bit, just because I knew my job was secure. I knew I was, still high up on the card. I wasn't, thinking about getting fired or anything like that. So, yeah, maybe I did. And you know what? Maybe everybody did. And they've been in that mode for quite some time. And I can say that because, I was there when WCW took over also. And I remember when we were on top, the guys, they didn't start working harder. They put it on cruise control, man. It was party time. They didn't even care about wrestling anymore. You know what I mean? So I do know I've been on both sides and I've seen how it is. Yeah,
I think that there was like a period of maybe 03, 04, where we were far removed from WCW and the Monday Night Wars. And I think that, yeah, it makes sense. But now with AEW, and they're kicking butt from a show perspective with these matches that they put on, especially their pay-per-views. Their pay-per-views are normally all killer, no filler. You have to run faster. And I love hearing that from Big E. I love hearing him saying, look, man, these guys are killing it. The fans love it. We got to go out there. We got to dominate. We're the number one brand. We're WWE. We got to go out there and dominate.
Hey, man.
I like that talk.
All they got to do is just look at some of the old footage, and look at the crowds. WWE would draw and how rabid those people would be in Madison Square Garden, man. It was so freaking real. I mean, you could feel the energy, man, radiating off the people when you just walked across the street from the parking lot. I'm serious. It was like freaking Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier was in the building. That's the way it was. I mean, the NYPD would be on the street directing traffic, just so the boys, bro, I'm telling you, we were like rock stars. And when those fans they really made us feel that way because they showed up, man. And those crowds, man, they were, like I say, they were rabid. So all these guys got to do is just go back and look at that and wonder why was it like that back then. And then, of course, you're going to have the, the ones that say, well, they didn't have social media back then. They didn't have this, they didn't have that back then. They didn't have as much to compete with as we do or anything like that. Well, I'll tell you what we did have to compete with, the next guy on that damn roster that we knew was trying his best to get to the top of the roster. And the one way he was going to do it was go out there and he was going to be something different than anybody else on the card. That's what it made us do. And that's, what we didn't have, definitely we made up for it. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame with Booker T and Brad Gilmore. We'll be back in a minute.
And your question for the win. In The Insider, Al Pacino's character works on which TV show?
Is it 60 Minutes?
And your winner!
The Movie Trivia Schmodown, the most competitive movie trivia league in the world.
It's MMA or boxing. It's like you want to see the two best scrapping it out.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
2 points. Movie release date.
Wow. Danny DeVito.
That's correct. You mother! The rising sun! And your winner!
Championships, factions, the best in the world play here.
I'm ready to schmo down. Throw down with the schmo down.
Kevin Goodenough Smith! This is why we play the Schmodown.
The professional sports league of movie trivia. This isn't bar trivia. This is the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We still got more super chats.
We still got more. We got a couple more we got to get to. So here's another one from Roland Curtis.
Super chat.
It's all true. Flair said, by the way, $20 super chat. Thank you, Roland. It's all true. Flair said he wants his Harley Race NWA belt and his 92 WWF Big Eagle belt back. He said he said that nobody in the WWE ever won the NWA. Does Booker count because of the NWA WCW lineage, or is it about the NWA belt? So you weren't NWA champion, you were WCW champion, right?
Yeah, I was WCW champ.
But the big gold belt at first was the NWA title, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it started NWA, but I don't think that's the belt that he's talking about. I think it's a couple of other belts that he's talking about that he's looking for.
Yeah, maybe the old one, with the little globe and the.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I think he's looking for that one, and it's another one that he's looking for. I don't think it's the big gold belt. I think if he wants that one, all he got to do is go to DDP.
Does Dallas have it?
I think Dallas heisted that belt. So I think if he wants that one, he might want to go knock on DDP's door down there in Atlanta, Georgia. I think it's Peachtree Boulevard.
Oh, wait, hold on now. Don't give this man's GPS coordinates out here.
Wait a minute. Do you know how many Peachtree Boulevards there are in Atlanta, Georgia?
I don't. I thought there was just the one peach tree.
No.
No. Okay.
That's a running joke.
Okay, I got you. You lived in Atlanta for some time, right?
Yeah, I've ran into so many peach trees. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, you can think of another name. It's one of those type of deals.
Like, we get that peaches come from Georgia. We have figured this out. But we don't need to hear about it all the time.
As well as that's what center stage was on Peachtree as well. So,
of course it was.
It's stuck in my head.
Of course it was. Well, look, if they're property of Flair, well, then Flair should get them back. But if they're property of WWE,
I think if it's Ric Flair got a legit gripe about something that perhaps because normally on that stuff it's like borrowed. Okay, it's not given. It's like borrowed. He should be able to get it back.
Was there I was going to ask, when WCW went under or was going under, and y'all knew that the company wasn't going to be around much longer, were people starting to take things? Were you like, hey, you know what? They're not going to really have any use for this.
My thing is, I thought about it. You know what I mean? But I've been to prison before. Okay. So I say, look, man, I ain't touching nothing. They can have all this stuff, bro. So I didn't even think about heisting the belt, man. You know what I mean? I didn't even think about, like, Hacksaw Jim Duggan got the TV title. You know what I mean? And then he kept it, because they wasn't doing nothing with it. And then next thing treasures we were looking for, and he said he sold it for $6,000. So just think about it, man. With the lineage I had with the TV title, I could have got 50 grand.
Maybe so, yeah.
Easy 50 grand for that TV title. 6-time television champ, the man who put the television championship on the map, as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't say on the map, but I did bring it to prominence. But and greatness. So, but man, if I just didn't do it, man. I definitely thought about it, but I was like, man, no, something gonna happen. You know what I mean? I'm gonna come up on charges.
Yeah, if something comes up missing, they're looking at me first.
First person they're gonna look at. You know what I mean?
Hey, Book.
I'm saying, did you happen? You know what I mean? Yeah, I got it. Next thing you know, the DA's office called.
Mr. Huffman?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't take nothing, man. And when I left, even like the robe and the scepter, people say, man, you got the robe and the scepter? I'm like, man, that stuff is in props. I don't have any of it, as far as that stuff goes.
You know what's funny is the King Booker robe that you were looking for on Lost Treasures, right?
Yeah.
Now, I believe that was the same robe that was a part of the Hurricane Harvey relief charity auction, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Because the guy who had it, I think I remember putting it in the box and shipping it to him,
wow.
right? And he really did not want to come off that thing, did he?
Oh, man. That son of a gun was hard, bro. Chudy. He was a real hardcore dude, man. But he's a collector, man. And those guys, diehard fans, man. That guy had so much stuff from so many different eras. It was unbelievable just to see. And like I say, he literally had a house for all of the stuff. He lived somewhere else.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So hey, man. But we got any more super chats, dog?
We do. We have more that we got to get to. This is from Cali Toenail again.
Super chat.
Brad, I need an autographed copy of your book for Christmas and a Shook t-shirt and a signed pic of BT for Sage. What y'all want from Santa? We'll get with you, Cali.
We'll get you a goodie bag, man. Take care of you, dog.
Yeah. Just hit me up in the DMs, man. We'll figure it out. And then another one coming in from Giannis with the $10. Appreciate you, Giannis.
Super chat.
Main issues with WWE I have personally is too many matches get repeated on a weekly basis and too much of this can they coexist narrative. I don't care if they can. Also robotic scripted promos.
Hey, let's start at the you always like starting from the back. Scripted promos. That's something that's definitely people need to feel when they go out there and do in order to make the audience feel. If you're reading it, they know it. It's just like for me. I had writers that wrote for me when I was coming up in WWE, but I always knew if a certain word was for me to say. And I would take that promo and I would fit it to the way I would talk and the way I would go out there and feel doing it. It's the only way I can feel a certain way now. A lot of times these guys, young guys these days, they take it and they read it and they go out and they do it. That's the experience thing. That's a being comfortable working on the fly. And guys back in the day, they had so much ring time, and promo time, and talking on the mic, and house shows and whatnot. It was just second nature to be able to go out there and pull that off, But these days, it's really hard for young guys to find that, because you got to understand, it's hard to put you out there if I can't trust you. Okay. I don't think you just say, for instance, I'm not trying to bury nobody or anything like that, but I do know, just say, for instance, Booker T and Stone Cold in the grocery store, none of it was scripted. And all of the verbiage was, Stone Cold just making up stuff on the fly. And he did it because he's a pro, man. He's a pro because he's an entertainer. He's thinking about, the job. For me, I knew what my role was as well. When I say The Rock was, a great promo guy, because like I say, we go from Houston to New Orleans, and that son of a gun and remembered every landmark on the way, and he got a promo for Monday night to actually go out there, because we was in Houston. It was a house show, so that kind of stuff, man, you see that guy's ability to be able to go out there. You start telling them, man, write your own promos, whatever you want to say, so I got to be able to trust you in order to be able to, let you go out there and, cut a promo. And then again, you got to feel comfortable going out there doing it. A lot of these guys, man, they haven't had a whole lot of time going out there, literally ad-libbing on the fly in front of 20,000 people. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not as easy as one think it is. You know what I mean? Not saying, these guys, can't get it or anything like that. But it's not as easy as one believe, and I do think that's something that they're going to have to work on, or they're going to have to let guys that can go out there and do it, go out there and get it done, as well as hey, let's work in the house shows. Hopefully now we're back. Let's see if we can work on that kind of stuff in the house shows with certain guys by giving them a microphone. And let's figure out what guys can go out there and pull that off. So yeah, I totally understand that.
And there was another part to it, but just to add on to that before we got to go to a break, is perfect example is Disco Inferno at our show in Vegas, right? We went up to him. I actually handed him, like, I didn't hand him a script, but I said, here are the couple bullet points that we need to make sure we hit, right? And I handed it to him. And Disco goes out there. You and I are sitting next to each other. All of a sudden, he starts going kind of off of what we planned.
Oh, no, not kind of. Totally.
Totally off of what we planned. But it was great. And what did I say to you on the walk back to the hotel? I said, man, that guy is a total pro.
Exactly.
Those are my exact words, because he said, look, I know what I need to get over. I'm going to get there. You just got to trust me. And he had something that got over with the whole show. And at one point, they're chanting during a match, 5-star match, 5-star match.
Next match, 5-star match.
5-star match.
Next
5-star match.
So it's like he created something that we had no idea he was creating, guys, when I delivered, which added, a little bit to it. But you got to be able to, pull yourself, together and go out there and pull that off sometimes. Somebody, like I tell my students sometimes, man, I'm not going to be there with you all the time. I can't hold your hand. You got to be able to figure it out. And doing a promo is not that easy. What was the first part of that question?
Well, we do have to go to a quick break. So can we go to a break and we'll come back?
We got 10 seconds. What was it?
It was about WWE repeating matches over and over again.
Yeah, that's going to take a minute. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, repeat matches.
Yeah, the real Giannis came in with a question about, he said his main issue is that matches get repeated on a weekly basis and too much of this can they coexist narrative.
Yeah. I hate the coexist narrative myself. I always talk about it. Every time you see me on WWE programming, I always talk about, look, man, I ain't down with this friendship thing. I ain't down with, guys being buddies, guys being pals, Sasha Banks being friends with someone. Then next thing you know, she's, turning against them. My thing is this. It ain't about friends and buddies and whatnot, and it ain't, you to get to the next level, you got to be alone. I was asked to be a part of the NWO back in the day, and I said, nah, bro, I'm a solo act. I ain't got time to be, running around with you guys and doing that. But I think that's just, I just think that's what the business is. I think it's something that's got to change. As far as the repetitive matches go, I think one of the biggest issues with that is I was at WrestleCade this week, and I was 2 days before I was at WrestleCade. I was talking about a wrestler, and I was talking about how, man, if it wasn't for guys like that, it wouldn't be guys like, myself. Okay. I couldn't have gotten over the way I did, if it wasn't for certain guys out there playing certain roles. And man, those guys knew their roles to the point to where, in a lot of ways, they were stars on the show. Guys like Dusty Wolf. Dusty Wolf was a guy who went out, man, he worked with everybody, and he put everybody over. But I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't one wrestling fan that don't know Dusty Wolf, okay, if you're a real fan of wrestling. Barry Horowitz, man that always gave himself a pat on the back. I think I might have seen Barry Horowitz win one match out of his whole WWE run. Or he was trying to win a match or something like that. Maybe never did or something like that. But Barry Horowitz, I saw at WrestleCade, and I just told him, man, I just want to thank you, man, for being one of those guys that, you know, if it wasn't for guys like you, I wouldn't have been able to, get, to the level that I rose to. Guys like Ricky Santana, guys like the Cuban Assassin, and I can't count the times, those guys put us over on TV and house shows just to build our characters up to go, take on the bigger names and whatnot. I just think that's what's missing from the business. Barry Horowitz had a line at his table because people, really respected what that guy did along the way. And I don't think it's a diss to any of those guys like that. I just think without those guys, it's going to really, really be hard to create the stars as big as they were created back in the day. To be able to go out there and have those big matches with guys, I just think it's something that's needed. And I think without it, you're going to have to definitely fuel the roster with infuse it with a bunch of young talent, and still doing it from a competitive perspective on a weekly basis. I like to see first round knockouts. When I used to go watch Mike Tyson fight, I didn't care, if Mike went 2 rounds or 3 rounds. I don't need a competitive match all the time. Like I said, when Jake the Snake came out back in the day, I did not care who Jake the Snake was wrestling. I just wanted to see Jake deliver that short arm clothesline and the DDT, bring the snake out, put it over the guy, and we go, oh, here we go. I didn't care. I didn't care who Macho Man Savage was working. I just wanted to see him go up top, drop that elbow, 1, 2, 3. That's what I want to see. So I just think we might need to just take a step back in order to take a step forward. As far as that goes, and that's just my opinion.
And you know what? If you go back and watch some of the Raw shows from the mid 90s all the way up until the late 90s, and sometimes past that, there were a lot of guys who it's like, oh wow, they just would bring this guy out to get beat by, freaking Perry Saturn, right? Perry Saturn would go out and just smoke somebody in 30 seconds, a minute. Right. And then cut a promo about Moppy right afterward. Right. I mean, that was the thing. And then Perry Saturn, you're like, man, this guy's pretty good. He might be a little crazy, but he's pretty damn good. Instead of showing you Perry Saturn versus Dean Malenko 5 weeks in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is,
and it's a disservice to the boys because it's like, well, now they got to come up with all these different kind of matches, wrestling the same guy.
Yeah. I mean,
or girl.
I look at it, just say, for instance, Booker T and Benoit, best of 7. That was a series of matches that was on television over, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. You know what I mean? It's something that was highly anticipated from the fans that were watching it because they knew that was the only one match that they were going to see like that on the card.
Right.
The rest of the matches were going to be pretty much different. I think that's what made it so intriguing. So I think, being able to find that is something that we are definitely. I think it's something that we definitely need to think about trying to do.
And it's how a lot of the guys cut their teeth at first, right? Like I remember even in our company, Will All Day, when he first came in, he was doing the JOB for everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, doing the JOB for the top guys and, laying down and looking up at the lights. That was his role. Jeff Hardy, I just watched him with Steve Austin. Jeff Hardy had his first match in WWE when he was 16 years old. And you think he won any matches? Do you think anything lasted longer than 2 minutes? He went out there to just do the job and enhance the guy that he was in the ring with. Jeff Hardy became a 3-time world champion. But you know what? He didn't start off that way. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, you have so many NXT talent under contract. People we never even heard of, right? What's wrong with using them? Give them some television experience, give them in front of a big crowd, but let them do the job for Roman. Let him do the job for Big E. Let Happy Corbin get a couple wins.
Hey,
right?
Hey, you know what I used to love more than anything is the guy that was coming to the company and he would package on and whatnot. And then every time that guy would show up, the first match would be somebody that he was just going to go out there and run through. It wasn't going to be any thing competitive about it. And I really think I don't know where that concept really got set in stone where we had to do it like that. But I really think Barry Harwoods of the world, the Dusty Wolfs of the world, Cubans, the Ricky Santanas of the world, those guys were very, very instrumental in so many, not just myself, so many guys getting over in this business and becoming top flight superstars. Really, so many, to the point to where my brother, got inducted into the Hall of Fame. The two guys in the audience that I think very highly for helping us get to that point was Cuban Assassin and Ricky Santana. I said, I just want to thank you guys, man. They was like, man, I sure thank you guys for acknowledging us, because they didn't get a Hall of Fame ring. You know what I mean? They didn't. But I'm gonna tell you, if it wasn't for those guys, there's no way my brother and I could have ever made it to that point.
Facts. You just need it. You need it. And the thing is that 50-50 booking philosophy doesn't really do a lot for anybody. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, you won one more match than I did, but we evened out at the end of the day, right? It just doesn't further it. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. What do you say, Book? I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I could be wrong. But hey, we got more super chats coming in here. Let's get to our next one. This is from Kenny C.
Super chat.
Why do people seem to focus on the grocery store brawl between you and Stone Cold, and nobody mentions Stone Cold doing commentary of you beating him up right in front of you? I thought that was more funny.
I don't know, man. The grocery store fight was actually iconic. Just something that people look at from a real wrestling perspective because it has nothing to do with wrestling. That's the lighter side of what we do. Going out for myself and Steve back then, entertaining the crowd, man, was just something was in our blood. I remember Steve being on me being on Steve's show, and I was talking to Steve about, man, did you know what you was going to do after wrestling? And he goes, man, I had no idea. You know what I mean? So all Steve did was, go out and perform, man. And you look at him like, a good old boy, redneck, whatnot. But he was a guy who was just like everybody else in the locker room, just a little different. Going out there to entertain the best he possibly could. And when hopefully something better come along after this that I could tap into it, keep this thing rolling. And it's no different than anybody else. People look at him from the outside looking in and may think that, but him and I doing the grocery store iconic battle was about, man, let's go out here and have some fun, make this thing, stupid. Never in a million years when we think people would look at it the way they do right now in 2021. Still. Being something that they say, man, that was so freaking good. For me and Steve, it was just going out there, just doing our jobs. That's it. And we made history, an iconic moment doing it. Hey guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Man, I know we got the super chats coming in. We got to talk about reality of wrestling, man. December 5th going down. That's just Sunday coming up. December 10th coming up. That's just next Friday. December 11th coming up. I'm gonna tell you, Christmas chaos kicks off on Sunday, guys, and we got to talk about it. But we got to get those super chats too. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Bad blood between these two. one, and that's a stunning elbow to the face. Oh, and look at this. She's just raking Angela's face across the middle. Oh, my goodness. That's hard to watch.
Oh, man, what is she thinking?
Oh, no. Top rope superplex. Superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. Oh! From the top rope, she's calling for shooting star press. Star press. Shooting star press. Cover 1, 2, 3.
Sucker!
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I'm Booker T along with Brad Gilmore. We just chopping it up, talking a little wrestling. What we got, man? What we got? No,
yeah, we got more. We got more super chats to get to. This is again from Cali Toenail. Are you still going to deal with Doc Gallows later? You look really pissed before you called for security. I thought you was going to dog walk his ass out of there.
You know what, man? That's unfinished business with Gallows. Definitely unfinished business. I do plan on taking care of sometime in the near future. If you notice, I'm in shape and I've been training. And everybody always asks him, when are you going to make, one run? When are you going to come back and do something? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, when you start stepping on reality of wrestling toes, you stir the hornet's nest, you stir the big dog, and he may have to do something. And my thing is this, man, I'm always keeping myself ready, just in case some pop off. And so something like this, I'm gonna deal with it, but I'm gonna do it in my time, okay? In my time. How about that?
All right, I like it.
Because I
we
might
have another.
On you. I might just run up on you and do something.
Well, first off, Doc Gallows, he looks tall on television, and guess what? That man's tall in person.
That's hard that damn spray tan on him, man. It might make me scared to touch him.
Yeah, he's looking real jacked though. He's looking real jacked. I don't want to mess with him.
You look real jacked, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you right now, when I go into a fight, it's called a fight for a reason. Okay? It means by any means necessary, you do what you got to do to win.
Bite, scratch,
whatever
claw.
you got, whatever you. I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood.
I hear you.
I play it when I do something to him. I'm gonna do it real nice. I'm gonna serve him up to you. Okay, you gonna know about it. The whole world gonna know about it. How about that?
I like it. I like it. All right, we got another super chat to get to real quick. This is from the real Giannis.
Super chat.
But to be for real, Booker T versus Chris Benoit in World Class Wrestling. I'd watch you guys 100 times over. The quality of these matches are nowhere near. I think he's talking about the matches today are nowhere near what you and Benoit did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For matches like that to be, back to back, I think they got to be unique. I think it's got to be something special. And Benoit and I, we didn't know what we were creating when we did it. We really didn't. It wasn't something that we had a forethought saying, hey, man, we're finna go out here and create something like so cool. Following this, it's going to be really, really hard. No, we said, man, we hated being in that situation because we thought, man, the people are going to hate us going out and having 7 matches on television on a weekly basis. It's going to suck after, a couple of matches. That's what we thought. We really didn't want to do it. We was like, let's cut this thing down to 5, and no, they wanted to make it 7. So Benoit and I said, we got an opportunity here. Let's go out and create something. Let's go out and make magic. So that's what we did. We went out and made magic. And it was as real as it possibly could be from a wrestling perspective. It's like I talk about what wrestling is today. Like I said, we didn't have MMA as far as to compete with, but we did have boxing, and we did have just combat in general, karate, kickboxing, and all that stuff. So for me doing it, I say, let's try to make this thing real as we possibly can, connecting all the dots, making all the, things mean something when you're out there doing it, opposed to just doing it. Like I remember Chris Benoit, you can go back and watch it on one of the best of 7 matches. I'm not sure which one it was because, pretty much knocked me stupid. But we did a double cross body, and man, we ducked the clothesline and hit those ropes, and we met in the middle of that ring, and we both were flying so fast. Bang! We hit each other, and it was like a car crash. I remember my body like spent like a halfway around, and I landed. Boom! And he landed like over here, and it was so freaking real. Us knowing what we had to do to go out there and make those fans feel a certain way, and I think that's what a lot of these guys are doing right now. Hopefully, these young guys are watching the Best of 7 and saying, "Man, you know, this is what wrestling is. This is what real pure wrestling is." Booker T and Benoit. It really didn't get any better than that for me. And I tell you, I put those matches up against anybody that ever put on a pair of boots because myself, I was thinking about Steamboat and Savage the whole time. I don't know what Benoit was thinking about, but that's what I was thinking about.
Did you and Benoit really? Was it one of those things to where you talk through, because Macho and Steamboat, they planned out every spot, famously. Macho wrote the whole match out. Did you and Benoit do that, or did you all just say, "Look, we'll just call it out there tonight"?
We said the only way every match can look different, we can't know what we're doing. So the only thing we knew what the finish was, and we would just go out and we would have our cue things that we had to do, like a cue to do this, but it wasn't like a laid out spot match or anything like that. Like, Steamboat and Savage. Nah, it wasn't like that. It was like, let's try to make this thing real. Let's see if we can go out and have a beautiful, real fight, a beautiful wrestling match, and make it, like a real fight. The beautiful game, you know what I mean? That's what we wanted to, feel like when we were out there doing it. And, watching, soccer, they say the beautiful game. When you watch it from a perspective, man, it can draw you in, because you see so much going on in the game. And for me and Benoit, we had a blank canvas to go out and create some magic for me. And I always want to have that one great match with that opponent. And then for Benoit, I had 7 matches like that. And, all of the matches wasn't, that wasn't great or anything like that. But the totality of them and the build up to the finale was unbelievable.
Yeah. Some of the great matches, you got to go out there and see them. It just fascinates me sometimes. Like, I was watching this thing they did, that Ruthless Aggression special on the Elimination Chamber, right? And then they were talking about all the other match types they came up with in that era. And they were talking about the Taboo Tuesday pay-per-view, where the fans would vote on what they wanted to see. Now, being around the wrestling business for a little bit, I just assumed that was all, a work. I didn't really think that the fans really chose the outcome or the matches and who was going to be in it. But it was a legit shoot. They got to choose. And Shelton Benjamin was talking about there was a match. It was going to be, who do you want to see wrestle Chris Jericho for the IC title? He said, I assumed it was going to be Benoit. And it was like Benoit, RVD, Carlito, Shelton Benjamin, right? And then Shelton ended up winning the fan poll. So even on his reaction, it's delayed because he was waiting for Batista to react, because he was for sure that Batista was going to get the nod. So he's like super delayed, and then he has to go right out there. Jericho's waiting for him in the ring.
Wow.
And he said, I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't even know the finish. I didn't know who was going over. I won the IC title because Jericho didn't kick out at 3. Wow. So I didn't know what was going to happen.
Wow. I tell you, man, that's the beauty of the way it was back then. But the thing is, too, there was a lot of guys that can go out there and work on the fly and not have to think about, their spots. And I think that's where, the young guys could really get caught up and believing in, how good they are, because they know how to go out and do good spots. But I think the artist is a guy that goes out and feel the crowd and feel where they're going and try to make it happen. That's the art of a true worker. And I think hopefully that's what a work is trying to, like I say, get back to.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think there's a lot of great talent out there right now. And hopefully we get them. But book, we're in our last segment. We got to talk about reality wrestling, all the events going down. Dayton this Sunday, going to be a big match between Edge Stone and, of course, the Savage King. Lot of stuff going on right now.
Hey, man, the road to Christmas chaos, man. It starts in Dayton. We're definitely going to be doing something cool in Dayton. But I tell you, the one thing you guys really are going to want to be a part of, December 10th, Friday, December 10th, going to be doing a toy drive, Booker T toy drive, trying to make sure every young person in the city of Houston have a nice Christmas, man. One thing I always say, you don't miss what you never had, but you do remember if you never had anything, you're not getting anything. So our thing is we want to try to make it possible for a kid to have at least one toy under that tree for them this Christmas. And Reality Wrestling is going to be doing something big. Jar Brown, they got a really, really nice theater down at the Jar Brown. We want to invite everybody to come out and be a part of it. And the only thing you got to do, guys, is just bring a toy or a $10 donation, and you guys get in for absolutely zero. And it's going to be an awesome, awesome night leading into the final night of Christmas Chaos down there in Texas City, Texas, Booker T World's Gym Arena on the 11th. That night is going to be something you definitely don't want to miss. Reality Wrestling, biggest show of the year, Christmas Chaos, the final night, 2-night event this year. So guys, don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Go to realityofwrestling.com for all your information, and be on the lookout, guys. It's going to be big. It's going to be big.
I'm excited for realitywrestling.com for all that info. Christmas Chaos, 2-night event starting off at the George R. Brown, ending in Texas City, Texas at the World Gym Arena. Real quick, we had a super chat. Did Lee Elder have an influence on your golf game?
Man, I got Lee right here on my wall, literally right next to me right now, squatting down, taking an overlook at probably a 10, 12-foot putt or something. He's getting ready to drop in. But yeah, man, watching the brothers go out and do it, man, has always been an inspiration. Watching Tiger, of course, make his impact on the game definitely has inspired me to pick up a golf club. But yeah, man, anytime I see somebody doing something that came before me, of course, much respect for someone like Lee Elder. Wish I would have met him, man. Wish I would have had a chance to meet him. But yeah, man, we got to get out of here, man. We got to get out of here. We will be back inside the Hall of Fame on Wednesday night. We don't know exactly what we're going to be, but we will be back doing it like it's supposed to be done. Hopefully you guys will be joining us as well. But we got to get ready to blast up out of here, man, because I got that chicken. I got the mashed potatoes, green beans with turkey, and little onions, salt and pepper, little corn. With the corn, man, you always want to put a little bit of splash of pepper, 1 scoop of sugar, half a stick of butter. Oh, not a half, maybe a quarter stick. Yeah, and we gonna do it like it's supposed to be done. Gravy is definitely something that's optional for the mashed potatoes. But we got to get up out of here right now, guys. We appreciate y'all for sticking around in the Hall of Fame. All the super chatters, man. Much love to you guys, man. Really appreciate that. And Brad, as always, man, we out of here. Peace. Can you dig it, sucker?